Tell now.
Yeah. Sorry, there was a network problem. Yeah. Yes, Apurva, you wanted to say something. What is legal tender money?
Sir, legal tender is basically the fiat currency
Is the
backed by the government. Fiat currency,
back,
sir,
yeah,
fiat
fiat
currency
currency backed by the government. Very good.
backed by
And
the government and cannot be refused by someone who receives the money.
okay, check it. Anything else? Tarak, you want to say
Printed
something?
by
What is legal tender money?
printed by a central bank.
Printed by central bank. Yeah.
Bank.
Yeah. Legal tender money means what?
Legal,
The money which
sir,
is
legal
supposedly,
currency does not mean. Hello.
yes. Yes, Dev.
Legal tender doesn't mean any kind of currency only. It may be check as well. So any kind of currency which cannot be denied by the uh, creditors.
Yeah, that's fine. See, what you are saying, the legal tender money should be accepted by the person who is supposed to, what we can say, who has a liability. For example, suppose I am giving you a, what we can say, a service to you, like I'm teaching to you, and in return of that, suppose if you are giving me a 2,000 rupees rupees which is issued by the RBI, then I can't deny that I don't take this money. So legal tender का money, legal tender का मतलब होता है a currency which is issued by the central bank, which is a legal currency issued by the government authorized, what you can say, the central bank. There are some virtual money also. For example, suppose आपने कभी देखा होगा कि for example, suppose whenever you do a shopping, then they give you some, what you can say, the cashback, or for example, they give you some coins. Facebook, do you know, in Facebook there was one earlier they used to do one game called Farm Village. In that farm village, there used to be, what you can say, when you used to, what you can say, harvest the crop, then they used to give some coins. So such type of coins are actually called as, what you can say, the currency. Like now, for example, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin means what? कि जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे जो ट्रांजैक्शन हो रहे थे, तो ये लीगली सेंट्रल बैंक के थ्रू जाना और एक्सचेंज करना, कमीशन पे करना, उससे टाइम लग रहा था. So to avoid this, what some people have done, they have created their own, what you can say, the currency system where everyone will accept that currency as a, what you can say, the acceptable currency. Like for example, suppose there is one person who is in America, there is one company in America, it is, what you can say, producing some goods, and if in India they want to, what you can say, they want to buy that machine. Suppose if someone wants to buy a machine from America, so what he will do, he will pay the legal tender money to the person who is having a Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, for example, which is a virtual money which is available on the internet. So he will buy that money and he will give that Bitcoins to the American company, and American company will, what you can say, give that machine to him, and that American company will again pay their, what you can say, the liabilities to other company in Bitcoins only. So whenever the currency works in any economy, it actually works जब तक उस करेंसी को एक्सेप्ट किया जाता है तब तक वो करेंसी चलती है. समझ में आ रहा है? जब फॉर एग्जांपल अब डिमोनेटाइजेशन का जब सवाल था, तो उसमें क्या हुआ था कि गवर्नमेंट स्टेट कि फ्रॉम, इफ यू सी द स्पीच ऑफ आवर प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑन द डिमोनेटाइजेशन इवनिंग, he said that from tomorrow onwards the old 500 rupees and 1000 rupees currency will no more be a legal tender money. Legal tender money means what? कि उसके बाद अगर सपोज कोई उस करेंसी को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करता है, then the central bank is not having a liability to pay back the, what you can say, that 1000 rupees or 500 rupees. Now how the Bitcoin system works, like for example, अब जैसे मैंने बताया था कि अगर जब तक वो दूसरा कंपनी एक्सेप्ट कर रहा है तब तक उस करेंसी को क्या होगा, बाकी के मार्केट में भी चलेगा. Like for example, as I told you कि there is one company in America, they want to sell a machine, and there is one person in India who want to buy a machine. So what he will do, he will go to the Bitcoin company and he will pay, like for example, one coin is equal to around 1000 rupees. So if you want to buy 10 Bitcoins, he has to pay 10,000 rupees and he will get the Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin will be given to the company which is working in America. So if that company says that we will take only the, what you can say, the money in Bitcoins, then he has to pay it in Bitcoins. अब that company जिसको Bitcoin मिला हुआ है, वो क्या करेगा, वो जिसको भी पेमेंट करेगा वो भी Bitcoin से ही करेगा. तो इससे क्या हो जाएगा कि everyone is doing the transaction in Bitcoin, then it will create a trust and the economic transaction will, what we can say, keep going on. But this Bitcoin is not, what we can say, legalized by the RBI. Suppose बाद में, अभी हमने क्या किया, for example मैंने एक transaction किया और मुझे किसी ने Bitcoin लिए और बाद में suppose मैं अगर किसी को payment करना चाहता हूँ, if that person says I don't want the payment in Bitcoin, I want the payment in Indian rupees, then he can deny taking the payment in Bitcoin. So he can say that I will take it in only in, what we can say, the Indian currency. So now Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, virtual currency, which is not backed by the central bank. But अगर सामने वाला इंसान अगर उसको accept कर रहा है, then he can give it. If the person is not accepting it, he is legally not binding to accept that currency. समझ में आ रहा है? तो ये what you can say, an alternative mechanism was created by the companies in the world to have an international transaction, because they were fed up with this formalization of, what you can say, the exchanging the currency and giving the commissions. तो इस चीज को अवॉइड करने के लिए सारे लोगों ने क्या किया, अपना एक अलग से सिस्टम बनाया, and in that system what has happened, everyone was accepting that currency, and when everyone is accepting, then that was working. But later on when RBI said that Bitcoin is not legal currency, then what happened, uska jo trust wo kam hota chala gaya, because earlier what used to happen, people used to believe that this Bitcoin is also a original currency and they were doing the transaction. But since the RBI declared that Bitcoin is not a legal tender money, like suppose if no one is accepting your Bitcoins, you can't go to RBI and claim for the remaining money. So that is what is the difference between Bitcoin and the legal tender money. Now one more question, अभी आपके पास में जो भी 1000 रुपए या 2000 रुपए का जो नोट होता है, is it actually a money? It's not an actually money, it is actually a promissory note.
It's a guarantee.
It is a promissory note. ये उसपे क्या लिखा होता है, that I shall pay to the bearer of this note to pay the sum of 1000 rupees or the sum of 2000 rupees. Now who gives this guarantee to you?
RBI governor.
RBI governor. Like for example, suppose in future अगर किसी को लगता है कि ये 2000 की नोट है, ये 2000 नहीं है, मुझे 2000 रुपए चाहिए, तो आपको क्या करना होता है, you have to submit that 2000 rupees to the RBI, and RBI will give you what? What RBI will give you?
Maybe some gold worth of that 2000 rupees gold.
Yes.
Reserve.
RBI will give you the equivalent amount of gold which they have as a reserve. Whatever the currency is issued, that is actually issued against the gold reserve which RBI has. तो उस समय में 2000 रुपए में जितना गोल्ड आता है उतना गोल्ड आपको दिया जाएगा. बट नॉर्मल ऐसे कोई करता नहीं है. कोई ऐसे जाता है कि ये 2000 रुपए नहीं है, मुझे 2000 रुपए चाहिए, ऐसे कोई कहता है क्या? Why we don't do it? Because जब तक उस करेंसी को दूसरा इंसान एक्सेप्ट कर रहा है, that will go on. ऐसे भी हो सकता था जब डिमोनेटाइजेशन जब किया गया था, गवर्नमेंट से that old 500 rupees and 1000 currencies will not be legal tender money. But if people had decided कि we will accept this old 500 rupees and 1000 rupees as a currency, then फिर वो demonetization को कुछ मतलब नहीं होता. Suppose if everyone was saying that I will accept a 500 rupees and I will also accept a 1000 rupees, then वो demonetization के बावजूद भी economic transaction हो सकते हैं. But वो क्यों नहीं हुआ? Because RBI said कि after this date, this will not be no more be a legal tender money. Got it? तो अब ये जो बिटकॉइन जो होता है, since the Bitcoin is not issued by the central bank of any country, then it was not having any legal backup. But these bitcoins were used by the companies, some companies, to create a hassle-free economic transaction, and this worked till, what we can say, everyone has shown trust in that system, and it was an international currency, you can say, like America or Indian or Chinese or what you can say, any company would have, what you can say, to the transaction.
Sir, one doubt.
Yes, Anjana.
Yes, sir. So is it like RBI have sufficient like gold reserve for